Okay, I think I'm live. I'm not absolutely certain, but I think we're good. No countdown today. I just wanted to get down and get into it. We are doing another public roasting of Bantu City Diaries channel again. A video that I was intending on doing a similar reaction. Okay, pause that. Whoops, let's get rid of that. Sorry about that. I had that echoing in the back. Yeah, the why has it not stopped yet? Oh, that's where it's coming from. Trying to figure out where that was coming from. Sorry, yes. Sorry, yeah. So Bantu City Diaries. I want to do a similar reaction that I've done to the one that I've done to the IQ video, following that I did one to the Black People Are Ugly video. So actually, let's give these videos their full titles. The first one was Black People, Why Do Africans Have Low IQs, or something along those lines. Next one is Why Are Black People So Ugly, or something along those lines. And this one I'm about to do today is Why Do Black Women Hate Their Hair. So that you get an idea, you get a gist for the kind of content that is put out on this channel. You know, it's not incredibly varied content. And I was going to react to this one in the same way and then do the shorter, more condensed video that hits you with the facts and the citations and the references and the studies. But a fellow YouTuber called Young Don Reacts, whose channel I do like, reacted to it already. So that was really good to see, because it means that the pressure is going to be building up on this fellow. And I feel like he's feeling the pressure already, because I'll give a little bit of a spoiler. At the end of this video, he kind of goes into this little preamble about how much he loves Black women and this and the other, after spending the entire video berating them and degrading them and being basically entirely unfair. He then goes into the end, and I think the little spiel that he gives at the end is, I think that's a response to the pressure that I've been putting him under. I think he's been feeling it. We know that, I know for a fact that he put that other video, the IQ one, into members only because of the pressure that was placed on him. And the other video, the one about Are Black People Ugly, he's turned off comments unless you're a subscriber. So I know he's feeling the mounting pressure, and I'm going to continue to place the pressure on him. And I'm going to continue to make him revert his content and revert to the community permissions and hide certain content, because I'm going to embarrass him. I'm going to continue to do that until he stops trash pandering. Okay. So until he stops trash pandering to the masses, I'm going to continue what I'm doing here. To be honest with you, I'm enjoying it, and it's giving me some different style of content to do. So yeah, shout out to Young Don Reacts. We're going to get into your video literally in just a minute. And, you know, a message for Bantu City Diaries, who I know is watching or will watch this at some point if you're not watching it live already. You know, if you're a man of the Bible, I think there's a famous passage that says you cannot serve two masters. Either you will love one or hate the other, or hate one and love the other. So the Bible makes it very clear. There's no point in you trying to serve white supremacy and then pretend that you love the Black community as well. You're trying to make money from the white community in the grift that you're doing with your videos. You cannot do that and simultaneously try to hold on to any credibility or any kind of like semblance of dignity as a Black man. So my advice to you is just commit whatever you're doing. Forget putting stuff into hiding content list. If you've decided you've got to make money from degrading the Black community, do that. Don't insult us with your weak attempts at, softening us and trying to appeal to Black sensibilities in your videos, saying, oh no, I really do love you guys. Honestly, I really do. No one's falling for it, mate. Yeah, respectfully. So if you've made this your grift, and honestly to you as well, your white audience, they're not going to appreciate it. They don't appreciate you showing that weakness. Okay, they want you to hate us. So keep hating us and make your money, or quit your drift. Those are your two options. This kind of like middle ground that you got to try and float, and it's not going to work. So that's just me giving you a bit of a bit of advice about how to deal with this pressure. And if you continue to do your grift, by the way, if you choose the money route, just know that you're going to have enemies. I will be one of them. I will make sure that your content is put through the meat grinder every time you release a bunch of lies. And I think that's been proven each time. And it's going to be proven again today. But let's dive into it. That's enough of the preamble. We're 5 minutes in, and I think it's important that we dive in to the content. Shout out to those in the chat, Rainy and Joy. I'm happy to see you guys. Glad I'm not speaking to myself. We've got about 20 here, and I started the stream with absolutely no warning. So I'm very, very grateful for each and every one of you who's joining me right now. Let's get into the content. Oh, by the way, when it plays, Rainy, Joy, and anyone else in the chat, if you can hear it when it's playing, can you just type a 1 so I know that it's working properly, or type a 2 or a comment if it's not playing?
Black man more than accountability.
Okay,
nothing unsettles a black man more than accountability.
Okay, are you a black man? Are you unsettled by accountability? You just said nothing unsettles a black man more than accountability. Are you unsettled by accountability? I imagine he would say no. So why would you put
Thank you for the heads up, guys.
Forth such a generalized statement? It is because you're a raccoon.
You know what's really funny about this video by Young Don as well? Young Don's videos tend to be like half an hour max. He doesn't really do all of this really extended content. But he suffered for the same thing that I do. When it comes to Bantu City Diaries, you just get fatigued. There's so many things you want to respond to his idiocy with that you end up having a really long video. So this video is like nearly an hour long, which is why I'm going to try my best to pause it less than I normally do. But yeah, let's get into it. And shout out Young Don as well. If you're watching this now or on replay, your content's dope. I feel like you do watch my content every now and then. I don't know, I just got a sneaky suspicion. There's a couple of YouTubers who I know who are big, and I feel like they watch my content. That could just be me being proud, but I don't know.
Is it just me, or does it not feel like it's been a while since we've cooked up some raccoon on the grill? Yeah, man, I just came across this video right here by this African raccoon sellout whose entire channel revolves around slandering black people and black culture. He slanders everybody, Africans, Caribbean blacks, Black Americans, everybody. He just says, you know, he's a raccoon. He pushes anti-black propaganda, and he has what is embarrassingly a large following, 70,000 subscribers. He has multiple videos with, look at this video. Why are African cities so ugly?
That's such a typical Bantu City Diaries video title. Why are African cities so ugly? I mean, his grift is so obvious. He just says the most horrendous things about black people and Africans that he knows is going to get the attention. And the fact that he does this and thinks that he's going to be able to play the middle ground is insulting. It's really insulting. I'm actually more saddened by the fact that he does have some black fans who follow him. You know, just real. I don't want to insult their IQ, but it's like, oh, you tell the truth, or we need people like you speaking the truth for us. I'm like, oh.
767,000 views. Africans have built nothing. Wow. Nothing. 322,000 views. And he is an African himself. I think he's from Nigeria.
I will confirm there. He is Nigerian. I guessed the Igbo tribe, and a couple of people have said that he's Igbo in other videos. I said it based purely on phenotype and expressiveness. He just gives Igbo. But yeah, So yeah, I can confirm he's Nigerian. For our sins, we've been suffering a lot of these demons on the African continent recently, unfortunately.
Anyway, I came across this video, and I've come across his videos in the past, and it was just so like blatantly obvious what he was doing. The same old, you know, black people are a terrible grift. And so I was like, you know what, I'm not even going to waste my time on this guy. But this video caught my attention. And the reason I'm reacting to this video is because he implements a strategy that is a level up from your typical, you know, raccoon strategy. Because he positions himself as somebody who loves black people and loves black women. And everything he says in this video, where he is constantly attacking black women, he tries to play the role of, I just want you to love yourself, black women, when it is.
See, I kind of think that's the modus operandi for a lot of these coons. I think they always try and play the I love black people. Oh yeah, we do this because we just want to share the hard truths. You always hear like the idiotic red pillars say stuff like, that's one better for the community, man. They always come with that same played out line. They absolutely do always come out with the same played out line. So I think they do it more often than not. But yeah, either which way, the point stands.
So clear, it is so obvious by the way that he makes his points that he is nothing more than a black woman hating, tap dancing sellout.
I mean, he hates black people universally. His hatred and his bile goes both ways. It's funny because I just posted a video, by the way, quick plug, which is the kind of the condensed argument against his why are black people so ugly. So it's like literally 20 minutes long. I advise you to watch it because it's, I don't want to plug my own content or at least praise my own content or glaze myself, but it's very good. It's condensed. It has studies and references and links and everything, and it completely undresses his entire falsifiable argument. And from start to finish, it's complete trash, and I take it through the grinder. But it's interesting because I got a comment on there, and I think it was to do with the thumbnail, because I used a picture of Anok Yai in the thumbnail. Who's that? I think she's Sudanese. Correct me if I'm wrong. She's East African. I think she's Sudanese model who's just like, I think unequivocally everyone right now would agree that she's, if she is not, she is one of the most beautiful women on the planet. I would argue she's the most beautiful woman on the planet. But other people, particularly women, might come and kick back and say she's not the most beautiful, she's just one of the. But I would say, literally, Anok Yai is probably one of, if not the most beautiful woman on the planet. She's obviously, most of you know, she has almost jet black skin, and she's just stunning from every angle. So I used a picture of her and juxtaposed it with the title "Blacks Are Ugly," obviously to create the dichotomy of his argument, to show how kind of false and how stupid it is to claim that blacks are ugly, and yet the most beautiful woman on the planet right now is a black woman, and most people would agree with that. But I got a particular comment from a person who kind of tried to play the whole gender wars argument with me and raise the idea that, you know, oh, why did you use a woman for the title? He's just talking about black men. And I'm like, no, he's not. He's talking about black people. He starts off talking about black men, but then the entire latter half of the video, he's talking about black women. And me, when I make my argument, I'm making my argument on the basis or in defense of black people, not of black men. I'm not one of these gender people. Okay, I know you got a lot of black men who are only for black men. That shit is corny to me. It's not only corny, it's despicable and it's stupid. It ruins the black family. Those people always inevitably end up being self-hating racists, and their kind of like defense of black men only normally is born out of a hatred for women. I haven't got any time for that kind of misogynistic, ridiculous stupidity. I am a black man who is for black people. I ride for my black women and I ride for my black men. Okay, I ride for the black community, the black family. I have more daughters than my single son. So, you know, I love my sister. Like, I don't understand You know, people, and this goes both ways. If you're one of these red pill idiots, sort yourself out. But also, I would argue, if you're one of these black women, only black women, you also are doing a lot of damage to the community. We need to start understanding that you can't separate yourself by gender. Like, what the hell are you doing? It took your mum and your dad to make you. Most of you have got siblings of the opposite sex. Are you now saying they're a part of a different club? People, like, just get your brains screwed on correctly. It's not that difficult. Yeah, there's no room in, you know, in terms of the kind of obstacles and hurdles that we face as a community. There really isn't any room for us to have these, you know, internal gender wars as black people. I think it's ridiculous. Honestly, I do. And shout out Joy, black love, absolutely.
So let's go ahead and check out this video. Why do black women wear fake white and Asian looking hair? Video by Bantu City Diaries. Okay, let's dive in. You're going to learn something today, sir. You're going to learn a few things.
Why do black women wear fake white and Asian hair? What is wrong with black hair?
And also the idea of fake white and Asian looking hair. This is going to be a long and loaded one, but I've been in this situation many times, and I've always, and probably will today, always choose to opt out of this conversation, because I know for a lot of black women it's very triggering to have a man chime in and give their opinion about this. So often I just kind of like keep myself out of the conversation. But where I think I will provide input is, like I said before, I have 2 daughters. And so therefore, I think any input or opinion that I give will be given in the view of that as a case study, my daughters and my sisters, and in terms of what I've tried to instill in them in terms of the way that they wear their hair. So I'm just going to kind of like preface that now to avoid the inevitable onslaught that's going to come further on.
Hair texture. Why do black women hate their hair so much? They say black is beautiful, yet it's...
And he always phrases things in the most negative way. Why do black women hate their hair so much? That is a logical fallacy. Just because a woman wears a wig of a different hair texture, it doesn't mean that they hate their hair. Okay, there are a plethora of arguments that can be made. Some of them young Don's going to raise very well, so I don't want to kind of like cramp his style, but he's going to talk about the kind of like difficulty and the legal implications in some areas. Other ones are just the simplicity, okay, that comes with wearing a certain texture of hair. A lot of black women who don't wear fake hair will relax their hair for the simplicity of its, you know, for simplicity of its keeping. Now, I'm not saying all of this to say that I'm for, or I like, or I kind of like promote the usage of, you know, lace front wigs that are of a European hair texture. In my household, it's not something that you see. It's not something that's worn. My daughters both have natural hair, and, you know, they are of good age where most girls will be asking for it, and they don't and they won't, because they love their natural hair. But I think that takes... I don't think that's something you can teach. I kind of feel, sometimes I look at it, I'm like, damn, I got lucky. Somehow I got it right in that they love their hair, both of them. And I'm not one of these people who was constantly gushing over, oh yeah, black hair is perfect. I gave very balanced, honest kind of like feedback, and I think they know who they are. And I think that helps when they know who they are, and they know, and they see maybe parents, and they're comfortable in what they see in their parents, and they see maybe a dad who loves kind of like, I like doing my daughter's hair, and they've seen that growing up. I think all of that sows a seed and bears an impact on how they view their hair later. You know, even when they were very young, I used to tell them little stories like, oh, you know, your hair grows like the trees and fall down, like things that, you know, things that are dead tend to fall down. When a tree dies, that's when it falls, but it grows upwards. And, you know, I used to say things like that, which I strongly believe, by the way. But at the same time, I'm not going to say that that is the reason that they are so comfortable and happy with their natural hair. You know, as young adults. I don't know if that's the reason why. I'm just saying that that there are many things that contribute to it, and I think for a large part, maybe I got lucky.
Striking that over 90% of black women, whether in Africa, Brazil, Colombia, the USA, Canada, the UK, France, Germany, or elsewhere, have hair on their head that is not natural to their race.
Okay, so first of all, that's what he does. That's what you call that is an unsupported claim there, and he does this habitually. You'll see this in all of my videos. He's just given a statistic there. Over 90% of black women. First of all, I don't think that's true. I don't think over 90% of black women wear lace front wigs or wear wigs on their hair. If I look at my family, I don't think, and when I say family, I mean extended family on both sides. No one wears a wig. And I'm not exaggerating there. And that includes my mother-in-law, my mum, both sides of the family, extended family. There are loads of black women and none of them wear a wig. Okay, so he's once again probably projecting from his immediate frame of reference. Even this image here where I've just paused it, and this is just by chance. This woman in the bottom right, one second, she's Hispanic. Okay, that is her natural hair. Okay, he just assumed that this is a wig or this is not her natural hair. She's Hispanic. I think her name's Sanko Fit or something like that. Okay, she's Hispanic. So he's just, I mean, this guy is a moron. He really is just a moron.
They either wear fake wigs or natural white or Asian.
And to be clear, yes, he does make up a lot of stats, and then he'll put it on the chart and put Bantu page over it. If you don't know that reference, you need to watch the video that I just talked to you about. It's the last video that I posted. It's very, very, yes, worthwhile looking. So yes, Yelen Tala said Manco Fit. Yes, I'm correct. That was her, wasn't it? Yeah. So he's referenced a Hispanic woman called Manco Fit, assuming that that's not her real hair, and it is her real hair.
Looking hair obtained from humans of other races.
And even this there, sorry, I'm gonna nitpick a bit here because I'm once again with a man with lots of black females.
Natural white or Asian.
This girl here, now there is a possibility this could be a wig, but I'll tell you why a wig like this, for me personally, doesn't really offend me, because what this hair texture she's shown here, this is what black women get when they get their hair pressed. I can't remember what it's called. It's black woman in the chat, let me know. It's called a something press, okay, where it retains your natural hair texture. As you can see towards the tip, it's kind of retaining that curly, thick, natural hair texture, but it straightens it, makes it a little bit more manageable. Now, I think this is this woman's natural hair. There is a small possibility that it's a wig, but it's a wig that's done in the manner of black women's hair, because other races, their hair doesn't look like that. So he can't even be bothered to pick good images. Silk press, wow, shout out. You know what I was talking about, Joy. That's a silk press. Am I correct there? That's a silk press, isn't it? So that is the result of a silk press. So that's still black woman's hair texture. It might be different to the hair texture that he's used to seeing. He might not be familiar with it, but that is a legitimate black female hairstyle. It's unique to black women. That texture is unique to black women. This is someone who doesn't appreciate nuance. He just wants all, you know, it's funny in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, places that were heavily colonized and imperialized, they knocked the hair creativity out of us. They knocked the ethno-trichology out of us. If you look at old statues before kind of European imperialism took place, and you look at old artworks, you know, you look at the terracotta artworks of Ile-Ife, you look at the bronze works, you see that black people used to be the most expressive people with their hair. In Rwanda, they're just bringing back the Amasunzu hairstyles. Black people have always been the most creative and expressive with their hair, but right now, if you go to like Nigeria, it's a running joke. You got a Nigerian dad, all they want to do is give you a slap head. They want to just cut it off. Like that's all they want to do. But you have to understand, a lot of that is a carryover from basically imperialism, where they attacked ethno-trichology. Ethno-trichology, the expression of which is the expression of kind of like position and status through hairstyles, which is a African trait that ran through many African societies that was outlawed and banned as a part of colonialism. And a lot of people don't realize that. So when there are people that's come in, he just wants all black women to give themselves a step two all over. There you go. You're proud of your hair now. Look, that's your natural hair. It's like, no, we can be creative and expressive with our hair. We don't need your permission for any of this, mate. Yeah.
Looking hair obtained from humans of other races. Why?
So is it fake hair or is it not fake hair? What do you mean it's fake hair? It's real hair. And what do you mean a fake wig? It's a wig, right? We're going to get into why it is that black women have adopted this in their culture, in their beauty norms. But even the way that he is describing it as fake, there's nothing fake about it.
He's using the fake to be as derogatory as possible, because this is what he does. He can't just say, you know, black women are wearing, wigs. Okay, they're wearing wigs. He has to put in some kind of derogatory term at the start to make it undermeaning. But also, you'll note if he ever refers to a white woman wearing a wig or an Asian woman wearing a wig, and they all do, to be honest with you, wig wearing and extension wearing is incredibly common. Yes, they don't. Yes, they normally do it more closely to the texture of their own hair, which is an argument which I'm sure you're going to get into. But the point being is he won't use the word fake. Yeah, he won't use it to kind of like juice up the negativity, which is what he always does when it comes to black people and Africans, because he hates black people and he hates Africans.
They do this. In Nigeria, the poverty capital of the world, Nigerian women.
I'm sorry, I have to pause it there.
By natural Asian hair.
Let's get that on the screen. Nigeria, the poverty capital of the world. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Can someone tell me why I find that hilarious? Someone tell me, by the way, sorry, let me make this a bit easier for you. You need to be on the IQ test to understand why I find that he's called Nigeria the poverty capital of the world. First of all, it's not true. That's to be clear. It's not the poverty capital of the world. Nigeria is not the poorest nation in Africa. It's nowhere near the poorest nation in Africa. Okay? And but why do I find this hilarious? I'll tell you why I find this hilarious. RJ McKenzie says because he's rich. No, you are correct. Obviously, Nigeria technically has the potential to be rich. But the reason I'm laughing about this is because he was gushing when he did his IQ study about Nigeria, because he did his IQ test there. So when he was selling the fact that these IQ tests are going to be complementary to Africa, he was talking about, I'm doing the test in Lagos, which is the capital of Nigeria, which is the richest city with the smartest people, the most brilliant people. So when he was juicing up about how great Lagos was, so he could go out and test these really poor people and then get the worst IQ results possible, he wanted to disarm us so no one would be able to turn around and say, hey, but those weren't rich people. He tried to dress it up like, no, there were rich people because I tested them in Lagos, Nigeria. Now he's doing a different study. Nigeria becomes the poverty capital of the world. Literally the solar opposite of what he said. Sorry, polar opposite. You can see I watch Netflix. The polar opposite of what he said before. Okay? Complete and utter opposite of what he said before, because this guy is a charlatan. Yeah, what an embarrassing human being for him to just so quickly be able to reject and juxtapose exactly what he said in a previous video. One absolute joke, this guy is.
Capital of the world, Nigerian women buy natural Asian hair, sometimes for up to $10,000. These people.
So is it fake?
Just to be clear, he just said it was the poverty capital of the world. So who are the women buying hair for $10,000? Respectfully, who are the women buying hair for $10,000? $10,000 last time I checked, what's that? 20 million naira. Do you think that loads of Nigerians just have 20 million naira lying around to buy hair? So you've called it the poverty capital, but then you couldn't even get through a sentence without contradicting yourself, because you're talking about the fact that the hair costs $10,000. That is more than the salary of a large proportion of Nigeria's population. So you're being an absolute idiot. This is what he does. He contradicts himself in sentence. How stupid do you have to be to contradict yourself in sentence? He does this regularly, by the way. His army of drones, idiots, morons that follow him, they don't pick up on any of this because they are incredibly simple. He's got incredibly simple alt-right followers who don't pick up on any of this.
Fake natural Asian hair. Do you get the point that I was making? Obviously, we know that there's a distinction between when women wear lace fronts or wigs, or hair extensions, as opposed to when they are wearing their hair naturally, right? Their natural God-given hair. We understand clearly that there is a difference, but I want you to pay attention to the way how he is trying to pile upon it even more adjectives to make it seem more nefarious and illegitimate than it is.
Just to be clear, he made that up. Okay, so first of all, he's talking about Nigeria being the poverty capital of the world. False already. Next, he talked about women buying hair for $10,000, gave no citation, but then contradicted the fact that it was the poverty capital of the world because anyone who buys hair for $10,000 has to be incredibly rich.
But the natural white or Asian looking hair industry has become more lucrative than the industries such as waste management, sanitation, and research and development combined. Those industries that they actually need to clean up their countries. The misplaced priority of the Black African is never so glaring as the intensity of Black women putting hair that look like white women on their head.
This is a
I'm gonna let Young Don take this one. I'm gonna let Young Don take this one because if anyone can see, this is like that is like the master of strawman arguments. What stupid? Well, you see, Black women spend more on their hair than Africa is currently spending on their aerospace program. What? Where are you getting these comparisons from? What the frig has sanitation got to do with how much people are spending on cosmetics? Seriously, like what's next? Oh, Black people spend more on trainers than their investment into brain surgery. It's like you stupid moron. You can't compare those two things for many reasons, but first of all, the fact that you're comparing a consumer good to a government-funded program, two things that are entirely different purse holders, entirely different. Like what you're saying is so unbelievably stupid. The only people who would lap this up are the idiot dogs who follow your channel. They're the only ones who eat this chow. No one with half a brain cell thinks you've got anything worth saying. Shout out to Dregger. He said one of my faves watching one of my faves. Well, shout out to you, man. Yeah, Young Don's a G. I like his channel. And yes, RJ Mackenzie, he doesn't bash people of other races. So that's the answer to your question there.
The false equivalency. The government is not paying for individual Black women, whether it be in Africa, in the Caribbean, or in America. It is not paying for their hair. And so why are you trying to say that women spending their money that they make, however they want to make it, why are you trying to now equate that to the African government failing to manage their money in such a way as to create a more prosperous nation?
And by the way, female beauty cosmetics, that's literally the most lucrative market that there is. Okay. And this is obviously not restricted. Black women spend a lot of money on their hair in comparison to other groups, but women's hairstyles are more complicated, more complex. They're a bit more difficult to do. And on top of that, they don't spend nearly as much on makeup, on facial cosmetic skincare creams, because many of them have been blessed with melanin and thick, healthy skin. So it's balanced, if not tips in their favor in terms of how much other races spend on all the other products and accoutrements that they indulge in to maintain their beauty. But the point being, I'm not doing a white versus black or white versus Asian here, although I feel like I might need to at some point in this video. The point being that female and cosmetics is a huge market, always has been, always will be. Like, come on, let's have some common sense here.
Right. And I am not an expert on African government or their economies or the economics there. So I'm just saying, if we're going to take what he's saying at face value, right, trying to say that the two have anything to do with one another is bullshit. If anything, these women are obviously stimulating the economy because they're paying taxes on these products that they're purchasing. So they're helping the African economy, honestly. Right. So, OK, let us continue.
They have let white women set the standards of beauty for them. When I refer...
That's like saying you let your abductor bind you with rope, right? A man overpowers you and kidnaps you and binds you with rope, and then you turn to the kidnapped person and say, why did you let him bind you with rope?
I think where I'd chime in here is I don't feel like black women have been colonized or forced to wear their hair in a certain way, although Young Don is going to expand on this and talk about how, you know, wearing your hair natural in certain areas can be detrimental, can be incredibly difficult. I don't think it's that. From my experience is historically, as long as I've been alive, I've always noted that black women idolize other black women. That's normally who they get their fashion cues from. So if you want to know, if you see how all black women are doing their hair and dressing in the early 90s, it would have reflected the pop bands of the early 90s, TLC, late 90s, mid 90s, On Vogue, etc., etc. And it just, black women idolize other black women. A black woman needs to come out and present themselves and present a look, and then all of a sudden, a lot of other black women, not all of them, but a lot of other black women will pick up on those styles. So black culture is quite insular in that regard. So I think where people maybe presume that black women are copying white women, it's normally not the case. So what you'll find with the modern hairstyles, the way black women do their hair, a lot of that is rooted in Beyonce. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now, a lot of people I know are gonna shout at me, but I'm just bear with me on this, okay? Beyonce has popularized and brought into the black women's kind of like radar a style of wearing your hair where she'd put on like literally like blonde wigs and like, you know, light colored wigs, and it became very popular amongst other black women because they saw someone whose style they respected and they wanted to replicate it. So I actually don't even think it's as deep as a lot of people think in terms of black women are trying to copy white women. I don't think that. I've never thought that. I just wish that there were less Beyoncés out there and there were more Solanges out there. Unfortunately, Solange can't make the music that Beyonce makes. But I just wish that there were more women out there who were doing things that were beneficial to the black female psyche than Beyonce. But they're not copying, for the most part, they're not copying white women. They're copying their idols, which is normally other black women. I'm telling you, like, this is what I observed. Now, people are gonna turn around and say, you're chatting nonsense, this, that, and the other, but this is a relatively new phenomenon that's kind of like took hold in the kind of like mid 2000s to present. It's actually dying now. I think women are definitely more leaning towards, black women particularly are definitely leaning more towards their natural hair, and they find the ease of switching between different kind of like wigs. They find that easy, so they do it. Like, shout out to them, whatever, do whatever the hell you want. But I just wanted to address that. I want to take out this dialogue of oppression that we are placing upon black women using these hairstyles, because I'm not sure, and I don't think it exists. That's me personally. I could be wrong, by the way, but that's just my perspective, and I need to be honest about that.
At gunpoint, this dude's a fucking loon.
To black women or black people in general, I am.
And here's the thing. See, even as he's skipping through these slides, yeah, he's already kind of embarrassing himself.
Bind you
He
with
keeps
rope
finding images. Sorry.
at gunpoint. This dude is a fucking loon.
To black women.
So he's finding images there. How many of these black women are doing what you just accused black women of? Do you understand what I mean? Like he gets contradicted by his own sources. The amount of selective digging he probably had to do to try and support his 90% claim, which is totally and utterly unsupported by data.
Or black people in general. I am not including people of mixed race. A person with one parent being white, European, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, or Latino parent.
So this is him saying, this is his disclaimer. Mixed race people, I am not your enemy. You're not dirty like me. You're not dirty and stupid like the Africans. You have got half superior genetics. This is his disclaimer.
It's not black. Are you listening to me, African American?
On what basis?
Are you listening to me, African Americans? So now he's going to tell black Americans who only have 400 years of experience living in white society, living amongst a hostile group who's been trying to eradicate them, learning how to navigate that terrain and build their own communities. He's now telling them, let me tell you how race works, because he's the race expert who lives in Nigeria. He's the race expert who panders so much white approval because he's not around white people. If he was like me and like young Don and like most of the people in the stream and who grew up around white people, it would take away the whole mystique and he wouldn't have to shove his nose up their ass because he'd realize, hey man, they're just they're just normal people. But he thinks they're gods. And now he's got to take his knowledge of American and diasporic ethnography and his clearly researched knowledge of race as a social construct, and he's going to tell Americans what a black person is, and it doesn't include a mixed race person. I'm not even going to rebut that. I'm not going to rebut it. I'm not going to debunk it. I'm just going to say to him, like, in fact, I'll just leave to Young Dom.
We'll continue. I'm going to show you why you're wrong. This guy's a fucking idiot, right? Truly a horrible tap dancer, but it gets even worse. The ending is what really pissed me off. This ain't even the part that like made me want to make the video because like I said, this shit's a layup, but it's the fucking shit he says at the end that made me make this video.
Tiger Woods is not black. Barack Obama is not black. Naomi Osaka is not black.
Why is he, to what end? What is the purpose of this diatribe right here? Saying that all these people aren't black, many of whom identify as black. Is he telling them they don't know what they are? Like what is this? See, it's the thing when he
and to Nigerians, William Troost Ekong, Leon Balogun, Tyrone Ebuehi, and Ashley Plumtire are not black either. They are
on what basis?
Are mixed race people. There are black.
Why does them being mixed race people make them not black?
Just as they are white. If biology is,
I think it's not up to you how to define these people. I think it's up to them to define themselves. And there's just so many areas and arguments that this is such a like what is the point? I could right now I could rebut him on so many levels. I could rebut him on the, you know, where you draw the line in terms of ancestry. I could rebut him on a genetic level. I could rebut him on race as a social construct. I could rebut him on the one drop rule. I could rebuttal him on the fact that even white people have up to 20, 25, 30% African American heritage in America right now, and they classify themselves as white, and he would have no problem with that. I could rebut him on so many levels, but I'm not going to do that because all I want to know at this stage is what is the point? To what end is he raising this? It hurts my brain, RJ. Honestly, like Sometimes listening to this guy speak is aneurysm inducing. He's so dumb. It's unbelievable.
It's not taught in the African American education system. That is not my problem. Now,
It's not because it's not taught in the African American system. That is not my problem. Okay, so first of all, they get to define race, not you. You can't come in and strong arm your perspective on race, and you think you're so knowledgeable. Like he thinks he's just done a mic drop, like he's just dropped a dime. Oh my God, guys, did you hear? If you've got one black parent and one white parent, you're something that Nigerians call mixed race. I've never heard that. Do you think that people have not heard the term mixed race before? Do you think you're so stupid? It's unbelievable. You're so stupid. It's actually unbelievable. For you to have no idea about the historical context of race in America, and to then lecture Americans and tell them you don't care about how they define it, you're going to give them a new definition. That's beyond arrogance. You're just in the realm of extreme stupidity. You're beyond Dunning-Kruger. You're just a complete and utter artard. That's what you are. Seriously, man.
Okay, so you get to decide at what point. You see, what if somebody is 80% black? What if they're 90% black? On average, Americans, black Americans, and black people in the Caribbean, on average, have between 10 to 20% European DNA. So why is it then that they're black, but someone who is, let's say, 50% European and 50% black, why are they now not black? What happens in that 30 to 40 percentage change that makes them go from being black to not black? It doesn't make sense. And of course it doesn't make sense because you're not even acknowledging the, who invented the construct that is race. Race is a concept as we use it today when we classify people as black, white, Asian, Hispanic. This is a categorization system that was designed by white people for the sake of excluding black people primarily and originally, but it then expanded to include other demographics of people as they immigrated to the Americas.
And just to add to that, and I mean, there's so many levels to this. I'm not going to dwell on it for too long, but he, for instance, would be unaware that when Italians first arrived in the Americas, they were classified as black, okay? Because of the one drop rule. So they were literally classified by census as black until that change occurred. And that didn't take too long to happen. But here's what's even more interesting. Everybody thinks, particularly idiots like this, that race is this kind of like archaic, identifiable thing that, has always existed in the form that exists now. I had a interview podcast with a expert on this, historian of Africana studies, Dr. Nell Irvin Painter. She's a New York Times best-selling author multiple times, okay? Someone who's incredibly well-read and incredibly well-educated on this subject. And what she explained is that race actually changes definition, not every century, yeah? It actually changes definition normally every couple of decades, okay? Depending on what's put on the census. You see, what happens is America has multiple census forms, and what happens is that they define what race is. So you might find from one census to the next, the classifications in one year might have been mulatto, Negro, Native, Creole, or something, and then in the next year it was just black, white, Hispanic. Like, they will change these groups on census basis every 10 to 20 years. And that completely redefines how people are defining themselves. Someone who was a mulatto 100 years ago, 80 years ago, became a black. And then 60 years ago, became a Negro. And these are different things, okay? These are completely different things. And to someone like him, he's not going to understand something like that. It's going to go over his head. He's not going to understand how that would force people who are mixed race into a category. Because guess what? I don't think mixed race existed on any census before. Maybe, maybe civil rights might have been the first time you might have seen mixed race appearing on census, if it did appear on census, that is. So you're saying these things with so much authority, and you just have no knowledge about the subject, and yet you think you can lecture African Americans, Black Americans about what race is and what who is and isn't classified as Black. You are an absolute moron.
Asians and Hispanics and things of that nature. But initially and originally, it was only focused on segregating blacks from whites for the sake of determining who gets certain rights and whom are property and who don't get certain rights. Of course, those being the black people. And within that system, the system they designed and invented and have enforced, they determined that if you have even so much as one drop of blood, black blood in your body, you're black. So why does you, some random, unlearned, self-hating, black woman hating African get to do away with all of the history?
And also it's this arrogance that you do get, and I once again have to, unfortunately, you know, take it on the chin being a Nigerian, which I love, but sharing my I don't want to say my landmass with morons like this, because they speak with so much authority. It's that confident stupidity. You know, they've just picked up some basic first, elementary level experience with race that they've picked up. So maybe he's picked up a Daily Mail newspaper or something, and now he wants to share with you. Let me tell you something, African American. It's like, shut the hell up, man. Do you think you're talking to idiots here? Like, you're talking down to people. Like, you're in no position to educate anyone. You're literally in no position to educate anyone. The fact that he's on his channel here and he's giving lectures, it really pisses me off, because this guy proves video after video how much of a stupid moron he is. It's actually insulting, man.
Behind the system which enforced these race classifications. Okay. And even after the one drop rule was abandoned, there was for a period of time where you had this sociological concept known as passing as white, or being white passing, which was essentially when a black person or a person with black heritage who was mixed could pass for white. They had enough European features, their nose was straight enough, their skin was light enough, their hair was straight enough that they could even pass as a white person. This was an idea.
Shut up. That rant was not about Young Don Reacts, by the way, because someone has pointed out the fact that obviously the Coon Bantu City Diaries is not on the stream. So anyone who's joined just now, I wasn't ranting about Young Don Reacts. I was ranting about the idiot who we're both cooking at the moment, who's a guy called Bantu City Diaries. So yeah, shout out How Dear for just pointing that out.
Idea which described black people who were able to now acquire the rights of white people by operating as a white person, despite the fact that they violate the one drop rule. All of this was created by white supremacy. All of this was created by white culture. And so they get to decide. They invented this shit. They get to decide who is black. And they have decided that if you look black, you are black. In fact, it would be more accurate to say, if you have black heritage, if you have any black blood and you don't look white, then you are black. So all of these people that you just listed, none of them look, Naomi does not look Japanese, and the various people you listed do not look white for the ones that were mixed with white blood. And so therefore they have to be black because of their black ancestry. That is how this race shit really works, sir.
And what he also needs to understand is that race works different in America than it does in most other places. I'm not going to say it's entirely unique because it does spill over somewhat into South America as well. But I'd say in in USA, race works completely separately to how it works everywhere else. And one of the reasons is because you have to understand that race has affected the white race as much as it's affected the black race. And I think I spoke about this on the last live stream I did. The fact that the white Americans have no heritage. Yes, I did, because I was speaking about the impact of culture and the fact that most culture in America is derived from things that black people invented and created. But white Americans don't have a European culture they can cling on to. So the whole idea of them being, you know, ancestrally British or ancestrally Irish, ancestrally this, that, and the other, a lot of the time that's just a distant myth. Okay, they're just white. They are literally, and I don't mean this in a rude way, they're literally mixed. They become they've lost their heritage and they've become a mixed group of random white European ancestry. So their ethnic group in America is white. That's their ethnic group. It's not like in the UK where white people are British or they're Polish or they're this. There's no such thing as a white American. Okay, there's no indigenous whiteness in America. So all that whiteness has come from somewhere, but it normally hasn't come from one place. And in fact, you'll find that white Americans struggle probably as much, maybe even more than black Americans when it comes to tracing their complete genealogy. They struggle. They have this mixed hodgepodge of ancestry. And so they have to define themselves by their race. So white American becomes their ethnic group. So it's different than the way it works anywhere else. And what you're doing, like Young Don just pointed out, is you're pointing to the people who have been the victims of this classification, because this classification was created to give them advantage over the majority in America. They created these classifications so that they would have advantage. And you're turning to the victims and you're telling them, oh, you're classifying race wrong. Oh, they're not included. And the white people will tell you straight up, just like Young Don said, straight up and down, that's a black person there. They're right there. That's a near. Yeah, that's what they would say. Okay. So your classification means absolutely nothing, BCD. Not talking to Young Don. BCD. Okay.
Let's move on, shall we? Whether it is Michelle Obama, Naomi Campbell, Beyonce, Rihanna, Serena Williams, Tiwa Savage, Zozibini Tunzi, or Lupita Nyong'o, they all wear fake white or Asian looking.
He just said Lupita Nyong'o. When is he lying there?
Or Lupita Nyong'o.
That's not white or Asian looking hair. That's black looking hair. Is he lying? Because I'm so someone let me know if it's not for part. Has Lupita Nyong'o been seen in public wearing hair that's not black texture? Has he never seen combed hair before? I think that's what it is. I think, look at his hair. Yes, I've just figured it out, guys. It was a mystery, but I've just solved it. So yeah, you have to give me props on this. Yeah, I've just figured it out. This dude has never seen combed black hair before. He's never seen combed black hair before. Him and all his brothers and all the women in his family have got step 2 peppercorn hair that they've never run a comb through. Look at his hair. Look at his hair. Who's going to record a video on the damn internet? No trim. Look at him. This is what's going on here. He probably thinks that Young Don Reacts is wearing a wig right now. He doesn't know that black hair could. Listen, Bantu City Diaries, I'm going to spit some game on you. Run a comb through your hair, my G. Yeah? It does wonders. Get some of that rich grease, some of that moisture. Yeah? Put some conditioner in there. Run some oils in there. You know what I mean? Like the castor oil is beautiful for black. Run a comb for your blood clot hair, my G. It's not that hard. You'll see that. See little Peter and Young, see her hair there? That's black people hair. It does that, yeah, when you comb it, bruv. Or get a trim. Go low with it. You might see a wave. I bet he's never seen a wave. If he saw a wave, bruv, he would be confused. But if he saw black people's hair all way 360, imagine if he saw 360 waves. I thought that black men were better than this, but black men have started buying Asian hair and sticking it on this. This guy's a clown. He ain't never seen combed hair before. How's he talking about Lupita Nyong'o, where is wearing European style hair, and then he puts this picture up with so much confidence that that black woman's hair can't do that? Dude, he ain't never combed his hair. That's it. That's a wrap. We don't even need to go on with this video. He thinks any combed black hair is sign that you're mixed. No, that's why he said he did the whole mixed. I'm not talking about mixed race people who have hair that is longer than 5 inches. I'm not talking about them, okay? Not mixed race curly haired people. I'm talking about black people whose hair cannot grow over 2 centimeters long. That's what he's talking about. This picky-head you trying to come on here telling black people what they can, black women what they can and can't do with his hair, looking like that, looking like a friggin' 72-year-old uncle. What is it? What the heck is going on here, man? This guy's a clown, whole clown, man. Sharp trigger. He says, man. Man has never seen a pic or clippers before. Listen, bro, we got pics going back. Yeah, go to ancient Kemet. We got pics going back 5,000 years. Yeah, black people been combing their hair from the beginning of time. Go look at the cave art in Libya. You'll see black people combing their hair into a style similar to Lupita Nyong'o's. Yeah, look at the cave art in Libya, my friend. 8,000 years ago, you'll see women with beautiful hair. Yeah, that's what happens when you comb black hair, my G. What is going on, man? Oh my gosh, what an embarrassment.
They all wear fake white or Asian looking hair or wig.
Is it fake white hair or is it white hair? Is it?
So he's paused on Beyonce there, and I'm gonna say she's responsible for a lot of what's the fashion now. But what will happen inevitably, and I need to also add to this, is that a new icon will take Beyonce's place and she'll have the same effect on a large proportion of the black community. We've seen this before. I remember when I was growing up, it was like the Brat, Salt and Pepper, Salt from Salt and Pepper. So many black women had their hair done like Salt from Salt and Pepper, you know? And even in the 90s, like we weren't really rocking these long wigs. This is a Beyonce thing. Do you understand what I mean? It's a Beyonce thing. I don't think it's as deep as people think it is. Like I said, when Beyonce is no longer the thing, she moves on, and there's another black icon out there that black women can appreciate. Because one thing I've known about black women, yeah, and I'm allowed to say this because I got black daughters, black misses, whatever, yeah, they don't listen to anybody else but other black women. That's a fact. Yeah, you can talk all you want, lecture them all you want, you can gush them all you want. Black women don't listen to nobody but other black women. Yeah, so if you want black women to change their hairstyle, you better start influencing some of their icons, because that's the only people on earth who they listen to. I'm telling you right now.
Is it fake Asian looking hair or is it Asian looking hair? See, again, he's adding on this adjective of fake to attach that to the identity of these black women, that they are being fake somehow. That's what he's really trying to do here.
That are often styled to resemble white or Asian aesthetics. I must give credit to Lupita for sometimes embracing.
Sometimes. Can you see the nerve of this piece of shit? I must give credit to Lupita for sometimes. I'm sorry, you still haven't provided a single citation of or evidence of Lupita wearing her hair in an unnatural way. Yeah, so what the hell are you talking about? Oh, for sometimes you want her. That's what I told you. The hair has to be short. Didn't I just say that? Yeah, he only believes it's black woman's natural hair or something resembling their hair if they cut it down. Step one, yeah, step one all around. This is natural black woman's hair. Anything else, like he would be absolutely baffled to see my he'd be saying all my oh, they're all mixed. That's what he'd be saying if he saw my sister's hair. My sister's got hair that's down there, yeah, it just falls. It's always been like that, yeah. She's as black as me, yeah. Her hair just falls, yeah. She's got, like, I don't know what the different grades are, but she's got very, very loose curls. It be like that sometimes. My other sister has got strong 4C hair, yeah, and that's like my daughter as well. She's got hair like my daughter, my middle daughter, but then my youngest daughter's got hair like my older sister. So that's how genetics, it goes like that sometimes. But this guy thinks that this is the only natural black woman's hair because he hasn't got a clue.
It's a natural, like her natural hair. In Africa, people not only wear hair that is influenced by white.
Look at this picture. So this is the picture he found. He said 90% of women wear hair that is synthetic. And you know that he searched for ages looking for this photo. We know that for a fact because he now has to support his claim. Yeah, I see one. That girl's hair could just be relaxed. That could be her natural hair. It could just be relaxed. Yeah, that one, I'd say, yeah, that's definitely a wig. Who else? That's natural hair. That's a natural hairstyle. Could be extended, but it's a natural hairstyle. I can see plaits there. I can see dreads there. That's a natural hairstyle. Like he's got easily, I would say 60 to 70% of the women in this photo are wearing their hair natural. This guy's a freaking clown. He can't even find photos to support his claim. So he's there trying to lambast women, like all of the women have got a piece on their hair like this woman, and they just don't. He can't even find the images to support it. He's an idiot. He's a straight up idiot, man.
The Asian styles, but some also bleach their skin to achieve a lighter appearance.
Don't go there with the bleaching, brother. Yeah, don't go there with the bleaching. So this is the thing. I will say this now because this is a different channel. If you've been on the King's Monologue for a while, I've given this speech many times. So I'm going to keep this as short as possible. Black women, UK, America, Africa, Caribbean, bleach their skin. I would say tamper with their skin color less than any other race, full stop. Any other race. The most likely woman to wake up and be satisfied with her complexion is a black woman. In Asia, skin bleaching is endemic. They sell it off the shelf instead of skin cream. Take it from me, it's the absolute truth. If you don't believe me, then I will ask you to go and look at Olay's sales. Okay, it's a multi-billion, skin lightening is a multi-billion pound industry in Asia. And that's all of Asia, from Far East, Southeast, Central, and Southern Asia. It's a massive industry. All of those North Indian actresses who are really pale, they all bleach from birth. There are products, you can look them up, called Fair and Lovely, and other ones as well, where women, they just sell it off the shelf. It was so hard when I lived in Qatar to get skin cream. I had to go to a specialist shop. When I went to the supermarket Carrefour, I couldn't find non-bleaching skin cream or non-lightening skin cream. They call it skin lightening there. It's the same difference. It's bleach. Okay. So they sell skin lightening products endemically in Asia. So even all of these Arabs, people are like, oh, Arabs are like this. You don't even know what the complexion of modern day Arabs are because they all bleach, men and women, from birth. They all bleach. They all use skin lightening products from birth. Don't talk to black people about bleaching, please. Yes, I know that it's an issue in certain parts of Africa where people will do it, but it'll be sporadic. You get some, and everyone knows who's doing it because they're walking around looking purple. You got one purple person there, one purple person there. Everyone knows who's bleaching, but it's a minority. If you go to any non-black nation, it is a majority. Most of them, by the way. And if you turn around and go, well, Europeans don't tamper with their skin. What do you think tanning is? Do you think tanning is normal? Imagine if black women, yeah? Imagine, let's flip this around really quickly because everyone likes to try and give heat to the black community, particularly idiots like this. Oh, look at you bleaching your skin. Imagine if the sun had the reverse effect and the sun actually lightened your skin. And as a result, all the people in Africa would lie out in the sun all day. Yeah. Risk getting, obviously we don't get melanoma, but let's imagine we did get melanoma. Risk getting melanoma to lie out in the sun just so their skin could change color. Do you imagine the superlatives they would use to describe that behavior? Imagine what they'd be calling it. They wouldn't have an industry around it and call it tanning, this, that, and the other. They'd be like, oh, and Africa's dangerous practice of sun toxifying or something, UV exposure inducing sun toxification practices in Africa are going through the roof. Millions of African women are dying from melanoma from this horrible habit. They do it. Yeah, all Europeans do it, lying out in the sun to darken their skin, and everyone, oh, it's just tanning, isn't it? It's just tanning. Oh, it's just completely normal. It is tanning. They are changing their skin color. They're lying in tanning booths. Yeah, they're spraying brown on their skin. Imagine if black women sprayed white on their skin. Spray white. They've got spray tan. No one gives a shit. If black women were using spray white, imagine what this clown would be saying right now. So every other race, it's fine for them to augment their skin, to bleach their skin, to tan their skin, to do all of these unnatural things to change their skin color. Black women, who by and large, 99% do not tamper with their skin color, he's going to turn around and say that we're self-hating. Fuck out of here, man.
You see, for all the white guys who are overweight and struggling to find hot girls, if you are into black women, consider flying to Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, Gabon, Cote d'Ivoire, or the various African countries and see how the women will run you over.
This is such a lie. Yeah. And he said this lie last time. So I wasn't even supposed to be pausing it, but he said this lie last time. Oh, yeah, the woman will run you over. First of all, there's socioeconomic reasons why women might take their chances with a white man in Africa. Yeah. By and large, they're probably going to be well off or have some kind of a job or position, because white people don't just kind of like venture to Africa. That being said, there is going to be a qualification process. They're going to want to know that you are well-to-do. They're not just getting with you because you're white. They're getting with you because of the financial experience. And by the way, notice how he's okay to talk about white men, you know, being gushed after, for instance, in Africa. Everybody knows that white man gets on a plane and goes to Thailand. It's not only the women who are throwing themselves, it's the teenage boys lubing up their you know what so that they can, and dressing up as women so that they can make money from the white man. That's how deep that practice goes. Now, as far as I checked, I haven't found a district in Africa yet where the teenage boys are walking around with lube and wearing wigs and pretending to be girls. It hasn't got that deep there yet. So you're always trying to make these arguments about how deficient the African and the black populations are, but you never talk about the populations that are truly being affected by these kinds of behaviors. Africa is always moderate, and yet you're always going to try and paint it like it's, oh, look at them, they bleach, oh, they throw themselves at white men. No, it's not really that deep. It's not really that deep. If you want to show throwing yourselves at white men, I can show you entire nations that have built their economy around servicing the sexual needs of white men in the hope of getting a ring on their finger. So respectfully, try harder, my friend. Yeah. so I have to read this comment out. Kaluga said, why is he always trying to send white fatties to Africa? It's true. Like, what's his thing? He just wants to like, he's like, white men, let me tell you now, get on a plane right now. If you're fat, if you're overweight, if you're ugly, the black woman here will love you to death. Like, mate, like, allow it. It doesn't really work that way. Yeah, you're selling them a lie, man. This guy's a clown.
In both,
this has nothing to do with black women's standards in these places. This is a function of late stage capitalism that has made it incredibly hard for people, black people in particular, in certain parts of the world to rise financially. They are incentivized to marry these men because for many of these women, they see it as the only way to elevate themselves economically and therefore providing a better life for their offspring. Also, they understand that by bearing children for these men, their children will also attain many of the physical characteristics that will result in better outcomes in their lives. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with self-hatred. It has to do with people trying to overcome an oppressive system and an oppressive culture however they fucking can.
It's called catching it easy out. And also, shout out to Young Don for highlighting the fact that I missed that he's gish galloping once again. He does this all the time. He just overloading with different things. Like, we were supposed to be talking about black women's hair. He's now talking about fat white men getting a plane to Africa and getting treated like kings. What the hell has that got to do with black women's hair? Do you understand? Like, this is what he does. He loves to jump around because he's got so much bile and hatred and all of these set talking points that is given to him daily by his audience, by the way, who gush after him. Oh yeah, I thought I was the only one who thought black people were ugly. Thank you for reaffirming that for me, mate. Yeah, and he thinks that he's doing a service. He is doing a service, obviously, to white people, not to black people. But this
is what we are all doing in our own way. It's just that some people resort to tactics like this. And sure, you can say that there is an element of internalized anti-blackness with some of these people's actions. However, you still cannot blame the black women. You must blame the system that created this problem in the first place. And if you want to fix the system, you don't attack the victim. What you do is say, how can we make changes and implement changes in the system to allow black women to better embrace their various black attributes if they desire to do so? Because again, I see no problem with black women wearing lace fronts or wearing wigs, because you know what? White women do it as well. All you have to do is go on Amazon.
And he won't be aware of that, by the way. So shout out Young Don for educating, because he will not be aware of the fact that white women wear wigs as well. He thinks it's all their hair. Oh, look at their luscious hair. Oh, I just want to run my fingers through their hair. Sorry, that's one of those bars that you hear from these coons who pretend they don't, who say, these coons who don't like black women, and rather than just like keeping it pushing, they'll say, I just want to run my fingers through your hair. I want to run my fingers through your hair. That's why I prefer white women.
And type in hair extensions, black hair extensions, and then type in blonde hair extensions, and you will see that the hair extensions that are designed for white women sell far more than the ones for black women. Now, of course, you can bring into that conversation the fact that there are far more white women than black women in America and da-da-da-da-da. But the point is, this is not a practice that is unique to black women. Women of all ethnicities and all races partake in this kind of behavior. Furthermore, would you ever accuse a white woman who takes a hot curling iron, and curls her hair to give it a curly texture? Would you now say that she has fake hair, fake black hair, because she's gotten a curly texture? You know what? There's an incredibly
shout out to that point as well. A lot of people don't realize, from the period of the 1960s to I would say to the 1980s, white women did not wear their hair natural at all. White women didn't wear their hair natural at all. You'll struggle to find any white woman whose hair is just long and lang. And actually, we could go back to the Victorian era and talk about the fact that no white women wore their hair natural then either. For some reason, they like their hair to look like black women's hair. But we'll do that another day, guys. We will be having that conversation. Let's leave that aside for now. But from the period from the 60s to the 80s, white women wear their hair natural. Everything was based on these stiff styles to make their hair look upright like black women's hair. They used to use lots of hairspray, stiffening ingredients, perm. The perm was a big thing. And it was to create this kind of like stiff beehive, they used to call it, on their head, which was literally the white equivalent of an afro. And they did that for a good period of 30 years, at least that's in the public record that everyone can see. You can just dig up photos from that era and you will find that it was incredibly rare for white women to wear their hair in its natural, straight self. Okay? So what was happening there? You have to understand hairstyles. A lot of people think that hairstyles are a lot deeper than they are. They really do like to project a lot of what is taking place, you know, societally, racially, and kind of project it onto hair. And I've found that it's just not the case. I just find that women's hairstyles move in waves. People can be really popular and then really popular one day and then really unpopular the next day. A certain type of woman or a certain type of man will be really popular one day and then really popular another day. And it's never as binary as white, black as people think it is. Like I said, it's going to be, this is a period of time when we've seen a certain style of lace front wig, and as quickly as it came in and became very popular amongst black women, it will go out of fashion probably very soon, and there'll be something else they've moved on to. It's not that big a deal. He's full of self-hate, so he's not going to understand this. BCD I'm talking about here, obviously, not Young Don.
Surprising trend growing amongst Asian men where they're getting perms so that they can have hair that looks like black men's hair. Let me show you that.
And by the way, Asian people getting their hair styled to look like black men's hair is literally the final boss after decades of appropriating black culture. Yeah, this is just the final boss now. They're actually just doing it with it. That's how epic. We're just gonna have afros. Yeah, this is after decades of appropriating and imitating black culture. Asian popular culture is black culture. Asians don't have a popular culture of their own. Their entire popular culture is based on imitating black culture. So it's very natural that at the end of that, they were going to just end up copying the hair as well. Okay. By the way, this is the same culture that he claims hates black people and finds black people ugly. Yeah, they clearly find black people very, very ugly.
45 and 2 zigzags. Look at that, and look at the music they're playing in the background. I'm going to have to mute this for copyright purposes, but take a look at this. In Los Angeles, we have Asian men unironic.
By the way, that says in Los Angeles, but you can, in Asia, in actual Japan, they have the full-on, give them Afro textured hair. Like full-on Afro textured hair, and it's very, very popular. I could search it right now, but I don't want to. Have a little search, look for Japanese Afro hairstyles. Just type that in and you'll see loads of them, like loads. And Korea, I think, do it as well.
Ironically, going to salons and getting their hair permed in such a way that they can have hair that resembles black hair texture.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. That's the full-on Afro. Yeah. So yeah, these are the people who find black people so hideous.
Would you accuse these Asian men of hating themselves and wanting to be black? Or maybe it is that they just admire this hair texture that naturally occurs in black men and would like to try it out. But it doesn't.
I'm going to hate on this, by the way, because I don't like the fact that they can just turn their hair into Afro hair. That is like a proper cheat code. That's a proper cheat code. That's not fair. That is not fair. Do you know what I'd give for an Afro like that? Lord.
Mean that he hates the fact that he is Asian, or that he hates his Asian hair, or that he's ashamed of his Asian hair. He just wants to try out some new shit. White women do similar things in regards to, you know, chemically altering their hair to attain different hair textures as well. And this is just, again, a thing that women of all races do, but it's only a problem when black women do it. And it's even more ironic that it's only a problem when black women do it, when black women are the only people who have ever been oppressed for their natural hair texture. Isn't that insane? Everybody else can get away with wearing their natural hair texture without having to worry about it impacting their professional career, for instance, or their ability to get hired in the workforce. Everybody else can get away with that shit, but yet the people who do actually statistically have a harder time getting a job if they embrace their black natural hair, they're the ones.
Just a really quick one, because someone just put in the comments regarding Yasuke, and thank you, Khalid, for replying. It's only the whites deny it. What you have to understand is it's white racists, by the way, and they are terrified. And Yasuke, the entire Yasuke argument is not really about Yasuke. So you have to understand it's the same thing as the Black Egypt argument. Okay, they'll always try and make the battleground someone like Cleopatra or something like that. They create the battleground because what they don't want you to do is to open the door. That's what they're scared of. They're scared of you opening the door to Japanese history and understanding that samurais need to have a little bit of black blood to be considered brave. Okay, they don't want you to open the door to the African cultures that seeded Japanese culture, the Edo culture, for instance, the Shang dynasties. These are all tribe names that you can find, or ethnicity names you can find in West Africa, and the fact that we share so many names. I have my middle name, which I'm not going to divulge to you guys, is only found in Nigeria and Japan. Only found in Nigeria and Japan. And I'm one of many, many, many Africans who tell you the same. We share so much in terms of culture, dialogue. There was definitely a seeding event that took place. So this is what they don't want to open. So they want you to have an argument about Yasuke. Okay, and if we can get them to stop, if they can make a big deal about Yasuke, then it will stop people like me and other researchers from really digging into the links, the Sino-African links that have always been there, that occur between these ancient East Asian cultures and West Africa, actually, because that's where the links occur. But anyway, that's a whole another discussion. But that's why that exists.
Who are demonized when they try to wear a wig or something of that nature, where it aligns more with the standard that was created by the dominant power structures in this society, which of course is white culture and white supremacy and the white beauty standard. Oh yeah, let me unmute this clown. My bad.
Countries, and see how the women will run you over. In both Congos, even the men bleach their skin so terribly that some parts are dark, other parts are light, and others are a mixture of everything.
And this is very typical of him to show you something that's very extreme and very uncommon. Okay, very extreme and very uncommon. Something that doesn't happen that often, but he'll show you and to show you in the worst way possible. But once again, he won't identify the point that I made, which is irrefutable, and that's that skin bleaching in the Asian continent is literally endemic, as is skin tanning in the European continent endemic. He won't address any of these arguments. What he'll do is he'll make it act like Africans have a unique issue. Now, is there an issue when you've got people like this who are doing things that are probably more dangerous and more chemically induced? Absolutely, but we're talking about the crux of the problem here, and that's people not being satisfied with their appearance or being satisfied with their skin color. And like I said before, black people are the least likely to alter their appearance / alter their complexion out of all races on the planet. That's just a fact.
Makes them look like African leopards. So I ask, why are
this is very unfortunate, and it breaks my heart. This is not something that Black Americans do, though. Like, I'm sure some do, but you rarely see it.
I mean, I've never seen this before. This could be flipping AI for all we know. It's not like this guy sources stuff correctly. Do you know what I mean? He just said, if this happens in the Congo, I don't even know if this video is real. Why would I trust him?
I grew up in Jamaica, and it's a bit more common over in Jamaica. I knew girls in high school that did this to their skin, not to this extent, right? But there are skin lightening creams, and it's in fact, Vibes Cartel, I believe, has a very popular song talking about washing.
Yeah, Vibes is a problem. He really embarrassed himself. But I heard he's stopped now, hasn't he? And apparently his melanin's kind of like returned a bit. Let me know if you know about that. But yeah, there are a couple of famous people who have done the whole bleachy. But then how many flipping Indian actors do you think have bleached their skin their entire life? Let's just be real,
His face with cake soap, which is a kind of soap that is designed for washing white linen to make it.
Every day we wash your face with the cake soap. Sound like that. I can't remember that. Don't unsubscribe, please.
Brighter. It has bleach in it. I remember going to the bathroom in Jamaica in high school and seeing young Black men. It wasn't a lot of them, but it was some of them, and even light-skinned Black men would do it too. But washing their face with cake soap to try and attain a lighter complexion, you know, that shit is brutal on your skin. Brutal. But yeah, but you have to ask yourself, what is the incentive behind this? What do they seek to gain from?
And also, I wouldn't dwell on this too much, like I said, because regardless of how much we see it go on, it's still a minority. It's a vast minority that do it in comparison to other nations. I'm not saying that's not a problem that we shouldn't address, but once again, let's put things into the context of the whole paradigm of skin satisfaction, complexion, self-hate. Let's put that into an entire, let's understand that fully contextually, and then let's rank how much of an issue it really is in Africa in comparison to other, or really is amongst Black people, I should say, in comparison to other groups. And you realize that it's not a big issue at all.
I'm doing this. And why is it that this is a reality? That there is something to gain from lightening your skin, from appearing to be lighter skinned. Who put that in place? Right.
People so obsessed with looking white. Let me share something with you. All the insight.
And we also know how poor, like, the Democratic Republic of Congo is, because they assassinated the rightful leader and have put a puppet in its place. But these are not going to be rich people. These are going to be poor and desperate people looking for any kind of leg up. So it's acting like these are people who have got all the opportunities, they're well educated, and then they're just deciding to chuck bleach on their skin just because. Okay, no motive, just kind of like, I'm just going to chuck bleach on my skin because I also want to be beautiful. It's kind of like, maybe this is this similar economic situation to the people who you did an IQ test on in Nigeria. These are people who are desperate, okay? And the reason they're using such dangerous methods to lighten their skin is because they couldn't afford the off-the-shelf methods like they do across a majority of Asia, you know? Shout out London MMC. So keep grinding, brother. Respect to you, and I appreciate the donation. It shows that you appreciate the work, appreciate the effort, and appreciate the research. So shout out to you, my G. We need to catch up. We need to catch up, my friend. I'm gonna, by the way, guys, I'm gonna introduce you to London soon. This is he's a very sharp thinker. Budding, I want to say anthropologist, but I feel like I might have had that wrong. And we'll have him on the channel soon. Yeah, he's put it this way, he's a scientist and his mind's in the right place. Let's carry on.
I reveal and compile in my usual under 10 minutes video are things that few others would dare to say, especially.
Thank God. Thank God there aren't more loons like yourself walking around, getting up on the internet, willing to shuck and jive and tap dance for other self-hating Black people and white racists and racists of other races. Thank the Lord that there are more of you.
The Black African. I've always.
And this is him now glazing himself from his comments. He's read his comments and he really starting to believe, oh, you just tell the truth. He doesn't realize that to racist people, anything racist is the truth. He doesn't realize that you don't have to say anything smart, anything intelligent, anything supported by references, anything cited, anything deep, anything with any semblance of truth in it. You just have to say something derogatory about your own race, and I guarantee you, you will get an army of people talking about what a truth teller you are. It doesn't mean that you're brave. You're not brave. You are literally the epitome of a coward. You are literally a coward. That's what you are. Yeah.
I've been a critical thinker who applies logic to.
I'll leave you guys to judge of that. He just said he's a critical thinker who applies logic. Okay.
Everything.
Not at all. Clearly not. You're a simpleton.
I stood out among my friends and circled because I questioned things.
Well, he looks down bad. I said to him that he needs to cut his hair low, but now seeing him with the low hair, I can see why he grew it, man. Why does he look 56 in that photo? I thought that was a picture of his uncle.
Critical thinker who applies logic to everything.
Not at all. Clear.
Why does he look so old? Oh man.
Really not. You're a simpleton.
Stood out among my friends and circle because I questioned things that
Oh, struggling to get that t-shirt on. Sorry, you know I'm gonna go low with this guy. I don't care. I don't like him. So there's not gonna be any kind of niceness in the way that I address him. It's weird. I actually think the picky head looks better. The picky head was a glow up for him, man. He's actually glowed up from back in the day.
didn't add up. My parents thought I was odd, and many people accused me of being.
Oh, look at him. I bet you that's the picture of pride. The picture with
that
his
didn't
friend.
add up. My parents thought I was odd, and many.
That's his pride. That's his pride and joy. Look at me. I'm with a girl who is not black. She's not black. Look at me. I'm doing bits. She's not black. Well done, my friend. Well done.
People accuse me of being inauthentic, but I have never been dishonest.
Anybody who does
he just said he's never been dishonest. If you want to put that on trial about whether or not he's been dishonest, I advise you to watch 2 others of my videos. Yeah. But the short, I've only got a few on this guy, but the 2 half an hour, well, one's half an hour, one's 20 minutes. They're called Debunking the Liars. That's what the series is called. So he's actually helped me to kick off a new series called Debunking the Liars. Watch that and tell me if you think he's dishonest, if you think he's a liar, if you think he lies. Because if after watching those 2 videos you think that he is a straight talker and he's all the things he says he is and he's not a liar, I'll gladly discuss that with you.
Even like the lightest superficial amount of research into this topic and the history of it would clearly see why this is why society is the way that it is and why we see this phenomenon in the various black cultures. But so which is it? Are you a simpleton and ignorant, or are you actually a lying sellout? I don't know which one is worse, to be honest.
I refused to present falsehood just so I can grow my channel.
I'm sorry, that needs a sound effect. I don't even know what sound effect I've got, but that needs a sound effect. Let me check this out. Sorry, I need a good one there. Yeah, that'll do. My man just said with a straight face, he just said with a straight face, I refuse to present falsehood just so I can grow my channel. That's like the ultimate gaslight. Like, that's literally all you do. You present falsehood to get followers. You exaggerate black degeneracy to get followers. You say the most inflammatory things against black people and Africans to get followers. You make fake IQ tests and deliberately test people who you know are going to score low to get followers. This is literally what you do. This is your MO. It should say in your description, I present falsehood just so I can grow my channel. That should literally be a tag. Yeah. Bantu City Diaries, I present falsehood just so I can grow my channel. There you go. I've come up with your new tagline for your channel. What the who do you think you're kidding here, mate? Seriously.
Get more followers. Many black people dislike me and my channel, not because I am wrong, but because I speak the truth in ways that others wouldn't dare.
No, they dislike you because you're a liar and you're dishonest and you're mean-spirited and you're greedy and you're a grifter and you're a penny pincher and you're sly and you're a sellout. Like they dislike you because you are literally the worst kind of human being anyone could come across. It's nothing to do with you being a truth teller and them not being able to refute you. I refute you effortlessly. Literally every point you make, I'm able to refute and refute with very little effort. Every single point. That's not why I dislike you. I dislike you because you are a nasty, nasty human being. Okay?
even in their wildest dream. Nothing unsettles a black man more than accountability.
Okay, are you a black man? Are you unsettled by accountability? You just said nothing unsettles a black man more than accountability. Are you unsettled by accountability?
So the Torre, shout out to you, by the way, one of my guys out there. But he said, I don't think he can predict who will score low. He's just dishonest. No, he can. That's his thing. If you're, look, guys, for instance, the analogy I gave in that video was me going to Bedford, yeah, and testing all the people who were racist. You can have a conversation with someone, yeah? You can have a conversation with someone who is down and out, okay? I'm down and out. The fact that, you know, people are in and amongst down and outs, okay, and who are showing some kind of generational inability to amass wealth is going to be a little bit of a clue, okay? So I'm going in and amongst the down and outs in a country like England, in Bedford, okay? And I'm speaking to these people, they're not coherent, they can't form sentences, okay? And I can test them, or I can test the people who have just walked out of the local university. It's not rocket science. You know, you can't predict exactly what they're going to score, but you know for a fact, okay, if I test these lot, I'm probably going to get an average mark of about IQ 50 to 70. Just like I showed those people, oh, send them back on the boats, send the immigrants back on the boats. Yeah, so that's what he's done. He's gone to Lagos. He's waved 1,000 naira. He's got all the poorest people, the most desperate people, and then put them in a situation where they don't even care what mark they're gonna get. They're just gonna do the test and get out there really quickly. So this is where he's incredibly sneaky and dishonest. I think it's a bit of both, and that's why he put it in to private. That's why he put it into members only and doesn't have it in the public anymore, because I exposed him for the charlatan he is. But yeah, appreciate you though. You know I do.
I imagine he would say no. So wait, it's not all black men? So why would you use such a generalized statement? Why would you put forth such a generalized statement? It is because you're a raccoon. It's really that plain and simple.
Now, let's move on. I've cleared that one. The average black British, French, German, Dutch, and other Western black women spend about $3,000.
You know, it's understandable and why.
Let's do that again. Okay? Because he does this very, very quickly. And once again, remember what I said about this guy? Yeah? Remember what I said about him? Yeah? He's so dishonest that his sources don't even...
Now, let's move on. I've cleared that one. The average black British, French...
He just showed two pictures there. They flashed up really quickly. He showed black, British, and French. Both of them had African hairstyles. Okay? And also, I think he even included... Let me go back, but it looked like there was a mixed race person in there. Now, I'm sure he had a rule about mixed race people, didn't he? Didn't he say mixed race people aren't black? Let's go back again.
Now, let's move on. I've cleared that one. The average black British...
Black, British, African hairstyle. Okay? African hairstyle. He has no way of ascertaining if this is this woman's natural hair or not, but we can assume that this is an African hairstyle. It's not Asian looking, regardless of how you want to spin it. So this is either her natural hair or extensions styled after her natural hair.
French.
He has the woman with dreads, which we all agree is an African hairstyle as well. This third, like she's just got her hair pulled up into a bun. Is this what we're doing now? So the first three images, not a single one of them is wearing a European or Asian looking wig. And this shows how starved he was for content to support his thesis. He's literally lying as he's doing his presentation. Literally lying. That's how my daughters have their hair half of the time. Yeah? This girl's literally got her hair pulled up into a bun. It's clearly natural. He's insane. That's all I can say. The dude's insane.
German.
What's wrong with anyone's hair in this picture? Can you see? He just thinks that he can just roll out a load of pictures, flash them up on the screen really quickly, and then get away with accusing the women of having fake hair on their head. He can't prove any of this hair is fake. And even the ones that are, if they're done in the style of their natural hair texture, what issue is that to you? Like, the guy's insane.
Dutch, and other West
So he's got one there. He's only produced one. And even this image here, this woman has extensions. That's an African hairstyle, whether or not you like it. Okay? We've been putting our extensions in our hair since ancient Kemet, since ancient Meroe, yeah? Since Kush, yeah? Black women have been putting extensions in their hair. So you can only see one or maybe two in the center. No, one in the center, because that woman on the right looks like she, on the kind of the right of the center, looks like she has relaxed, natural relaxed hair. So maybe the one in the middle, and even that's extensions. No one in this image, maybe the one on the far left, but that could just be relaxed hair. What this guy's an idiot. And by the way, I'm going to say what I said in the last video as well. If you're a woman, the one, because he did the video again about, Black people being ugly. If you're in his videos, yeah, because he's pulling these images randomly off the net, please sue him, because he's being incredibly derogatory, yeah, about Black people and Black women, particularly in this video. And then he's pulling up these photos of these beautiful Black women with their hair, how they like to wear it. And then he's accusing them of self-hate. But then he's not even producing the kind of images that support his thesis. Please sue him. If you know any of these women, send it to them and please serve him, because that is, what's that called again? When you say something false about someone in America, you got that litigation. I can't remember what it's called. Can't remember what it's called. You guys will remember what it's called. Yeah, that's what that is, because he's saying something false that's not supported. Okay. His whole claim is that they're wearing fake hair to look like Europeans and Asians, and he hasn't even shown an image to support that yet.
Western Black women.
Look how quickly he's flicking past these images.
So average Black British, French, German, Dutch, and other Western.
He did that. This woman's got dreads in the middle. Yeah. Okay. The one behind her looks like she's wearing a wig, but who cares? The one next to her also has dreads. This woman has got definitely her natural hair in twists, 100%. The libel, that's it. Yeah, the one on the left has got her hair out natural. So he's listed all of these people, and 80% of the people that you've seen have their hair natural hairstyles. This is defamatory. Defamation. That was it. Defamation. This is defamatory. And if you know anyone in these images, please sue him. Please sue Bantu City Diaries. Please sue him. I want this guy sued, because he can't go around doing that. He's been incredibly defamatory, and I want him done. I want him done for this.
Black women spend about
I could keep pausing it, guys. You can see the guy hasn't got a point. He's a friggin' moron.
$3,000.
You know, it's understandable when white racists do it, but you as a Black man, it's pathetic.
Yeah, on their fake.
Understandable when white racists do it, but you as a Black man, it's pathetic.
Yeah, on their.
He keeps showing people with natural hair. He keeps showing people with natural hair. Does he think that Black women can't grow their hair to that length? Because if that is extensions or wig, that is incredibly convincing. Because I know many Black women who can grow and style their hair that way. And even if it is a wig, if it looks exactly like your natural hair would look if you grew it anyway, what is this little picky head's friggin' issue? What's wrong with this picky head trash panda? This guy is just infuriating. So guys, you've seen that he did an entire slideshow, probably included 2 score women. Majority of them had their hair in natural hairstyles, and he's saying horrible things about them. Horrible things about them.
Thick, white, and Asian looking hair. In Africa, that figure averages
This guy is such an idiot, man.
$600, even though about 40%.
So he said in Africa, that thing, once again, he's coming out with these things that he hasn't supported. But he says in Africa, the figure average is $600, even though 40% of the population lives on $5 a day. Okay, so what has that got to do? What has one got to do with the other? Because the people spending $600 are obviously not the ones who are making $5 a day. Okay, because they would have to save up for a third of the year to get their hair done once. You're ridiculous. You're absolutely ridiculous, man.
Of the population lives on less than $5 per day. Well, it is often funded by their many boyfriends anyway. What is it?
Oh.
Wow.
$5 per day. Well, It is often funded by their many boyfriends
1 second. That's a wedding. He said many boyfriends. That's a wedding. That's a wedding.
anyway.
That's a wholesome couple. Yeah. The woman has her hair natural, and he's just accused this woman of having many boyfriends. This guy, please, I beg someone know anyone in these images and sue him, please. I want him served. Because you can't just go around the internet saying derogatory things about people and pulling images up and shoving them in your videos. You can't do that. You can't do that. This guy is such a piece of shit.
What is it about?
And now black women are promiscuous. They're promiscuous whores that sell their bodies or share their bodies with men for no reason but to obtain money so that they can purchase fake natural Asian hair because they hate themselves and they want.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually really, really pissed off now. I'm really, really pissed off by what I've just seen in that slideshow. Not because it didn't prove anything that he was saying. He literally just showed a bunch of black women living their life, having fun with their friends, yeah, with their friends, taking pictures that they've shared, you know, with their friends on the internet, most of them with their hair in natural styles, accused them of all having fake hair, and then accused them at the end of having many boyfriends. What's wrong with him, man? Like, dude, I get from the pictures you shared earlier, I understand that you probably weren't able to have a girlfriend, or if you were, I'd imagine if she was anything above a 3 out of 10, you were punching up. I understand your struggle, my friend. No one asked you to wear those tight t-shirts with that untrained body. Yeah, you could have gone to a gym. You could have made those choices. You could have improved yourself. Okay, you've grown your little picky head. You've got a little bit of a glow up going on here. Yeah, you got a little bit of a glow up going on here with your picky head. You've grown it out, making it look slightly more attractive. Cool. Yeah. So you're having your lease of life. Okay. That doesn't give you the right to go back and try and get some vengeance upon all of these people who denied you. They denied you because everything about you, your personality, people always found me to be a little bit of a loose can. Oh, people always said I was a bit special. No, people just didn't like you because you're a dick. Yeah, they didn't like you. Girls said, ew, you're weird. All right. And this is what's caused you to be the nasty, nasty human being you are. No one forced you to be like that. No one forced you to be like that. I'm sorry it took you so long to understand human beings. I'm sorry it took you so long to understand the human psyche. It's not a race thing. You would have struggled in any continent on the planet. There's no place where people would have accepted you. In fact, you've just found that your grift is when you self-hate, you get a bit of attention online. But you'll find quickly if you want to come to the UK or the US, that's not an attractive thing. You won't find that white woman be falling after you because you're dissing black people. That won't work here either. You're just a loser, okay? Don't take out on black women, especially black women who you've never met. Yeah? You're waste. You're literally, I'm using old words in you now. You're a waste man. You're literally a waste man. Literally a waste man. And I really want people to, I really hope he gets sued. I really am on a campaign now for someone to share these pictures and to find one or few of these women and then to serve you. Because you think you can go around saying derogatory thing about women you've never met before, degrading and berating our community. No, you're not gonna get on like that, mate. Trust me, you're not gonna get away with that for much longer. I guarantee you, all that YouTube money is coming. Yeah, you're gonna lose all that YouTube money. Shout out Drigger. He says, I'm going to Ghana this summer. Get me his address so I could take a few extra days off and go to Nigeria. This is worth international. I hope you find it, bro. I'd imagine, bro, if he's just in Lagos posted up somewhere, man. Because I would put hands on this guy, man. He's a real nasty piece of work, man. But shout out to you, man. I do not like this guy at all. He's horrible, man. He's absolutely horrible, man.
To look like white women. That's what he just said right there, if you weren't paying attention.
Black hair that leads black women to go to such lengths to conceal it. From the
Wrong source of the problem. You're saying, what is it about black hair? No, what is it about white culture, white supremacy that has forced black women to feel as...
No, see, I'm not even hearing all of that. What is it about this dude's picky head that thinks he can come on camera and not having run a comb through it and then lecture people about how they should be? Like, he should be called Mr. Audacious. Yeah. First of all, he took his, I've lived in Nigeria my entire life and I think white people are all special magical leprechauns, and then tried to lecture friggin' black Americans about what race is. And now he's coming on camera with his 4D hair, with his 5D hair, coming on camera, yeah, with his super peppercorn hair, trying to lecture black women about why they should be more proud of what their hair looks like. And he doesn't even own a comb or any moisture. Dude, like, you don't get to talk. You don't get to have these conversations, yeah? You do not get to have these conversations. You haven't earned that right. You're not on that level. Yeah. You don't talk to people about, let me tell you something, don't talk to people about appearance. Don't talk to them about clothes. Don't talk to them about anything to do with, you know, interacting with people, because you are clearly sociopathic. You are clearly got picky head and you clearly don't know how to dress. So don't come, please, this is not your forte. This is not your area. Lecturing black women about their hair, no. That's a no for you, my friend. Yeah? You don't have the right. Keep it to yourself, man. Shout out Kalugu. Appreciate it. It's giving me your piece sticker. Come on, man. How else are you going to describe that hair, man? Dude trying to come out here lecture people.
If many black women to feel as if they do not wear these hairstyles, these protective styles, wearing wigs and lace fronts and things of that nature, why do they feel as if they will be disadvantaged in society? It's because the data backs it up. You know, here in America, there's this thing called the Crown Act. It's a piece of legislation that was passed in America and has been adopted by over 28 states, which protects black women, black people in general, but it was really designed for black women. It protects black people from discrimination based on their hair. And so in these states, you cannot be discriminated against if you're a black person and you choose to wear your hair naturally, whether that be out in an afro, in dreadlocks or locks. I've been told to stop calling it dreadlocks. I'm Jamaican. That's what we would call it in Jamaica. That's what I grew up hearing it. But even the term dread has a negative connotation to it. And so I've been trying to work that out of my vocabulary. Please be patient with me. But, you know, whether it be braids, locks, afros, why did this legislation need to be passed? It's obviously because black women have faced an egregious amount of discrimination for their hair. Right. So
and hair discrimination is a real thing as well. And it's not just in the States. It's happened to a lesser degree in the UK, although I would feel like I think in school is actually where it can be a problem. Schooling can be a problem, particularly in Africa. In Africa, they discriminate against certain black hairstyles. You can get attacked for having certain hairstyles in certain parts of Africa. So we really are kind of like living in the post-colonial era where people attach like the simplistic buzz cut and cutting of hair they attach senses of pride to it. It shows you how far we've fallen, because you can't find ancient artifacts where the person being portrayed doesn't have some kind of elaborate hairstyle. We've literally evolved from being the people who expressed ourselves, portrayed ourselves through our hair, to being people who are obviously terrified of showing their hair. And this is why people are so violent and aggressive against certain hairstyles, normally linked to a religion. So normally they would have used the religion to impose this idea that certain hairstyles are demonic or this, that, and the other. But it's just like the fact that, I mean, he should be aware of that, by the way, but obviously he's gonna act like he isn't, because he's gonna say the only way a black woman should be wearing her hair is short, as he's already shown. But yeah, what Young Don's saying here is very, very true, because in America it takes on that different dynamic where it clearly is racial. It's clearly racial, and they don't want black people expressing themselves through their hair. So this is a nice additional angle that I probably wouldn't have tackled had Young Don not raised it.
This man would rather black women see. You see how the black woman can't win? She wears the lace front. She hates herself. She hates her hair. She wears her natural hair, has a hard time finding a job, then has to rely upon government assistance to subsidize her life, and now she is a welfare queen that doesn't want to work for a living. You see how fucking evil it is? These people are sick, man.
South of the Sahel, extending west to the Gambia, and then east to South Sudan, then Kenya, then Tanzania.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Well, let's go back. What are we doing here, man? Is he trying to kick some geography here? Oh Lord, let's hear what this moron has to say.
These people are sick, man.
South of the Sahel.
South of the Sahel. Does he mean the Sahel, or does he mean south of the Sahel? Because the Sahel is fully Africa. Okay, so I don't understand what.
Extending west to the Gambia, and then east to South Sudan, then Kenya.
East to South Sudan. Does it stop there? Notice how he missed out Ethiopia and Somalia for obvious reasons, if he's still talking about hair at this point. Oh my God. Let's carry on.
Then Tanzania, Mozambique, South Africa, and back north to Angola. The hair texture of our people is characterized by its density, thickness, and tight coil.
So he's just done a very selective picking. South of the Sahel. Mate, just stop. Shut the hell up, because this is where you start to really piss me off, because you know nothing. You know nothing. Does he even know about the Arewa people in Nigeria? If I showed him what the hair is like of the women of Ondo ancestry, yeah, like my sister, yeah, how long and literally wavy her hair is in comparison to, you know, other people around her. Like, do not euphemize all black people to your limited, self-hating, clearly unkept hair. Yeah, don't limit other black people to that, because other black people actually do care about their hair and do comb their hair and do recognize the different textures. You can't just pick a nation and say, in this nation they all have this texture hair. Like, what are you talking about, man? You are completely off base with this. Completely off base. Like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Exceptions include the Cushitic Africans, the
Oh, so they're exceptions now. The Cushitic, all Cushitic Africans, are you saying?
the
Berbers. You already said south of the Sahel. Okay, the Berber people aren't south of the Sahel. They're not even in the Sahel. They're in the Maghreb region. Okay, so you have to get that right. Who are these people? Who's going to say here? Okay, those were Fulani people that he had there. Okay, what is he talking about?
Some other small groups in the northern Sahel.
In the northern Sahel
and the Nilotic regions who have.
So he doesn't know the difference between the Sahel and the Maghreb. Okay, this person here is not from any of those regions. This is a Namibian. Okay, that's a Namibian hairstyle that he's showing here. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He picks pictures off the internet, pretends he has some kind of, you know, pretends he has some kind of understanding. He doesn't understand anything. Okay, he's just seen the hair and assumed something. This is a Namibian boy here.
Hair textures more.
Oh Lord, this guy needs to stop, seriously, man. And these are obviously Ethiopian.
Akin to those found in the Middle East.
Oromo, De La Coroma as well.
The dominance of the Caucasian on our TV shows, film, and social media has significantly reshaped.
So what has he done? Has he just pulled all of those groups that don't have basically strong 4C hair, and what is he doing? Is he trying to pull them out of Africa? Because they are every bit as African as all the other groups that you mentioned. So you just basically hand selected a few nations, spread the lie that they all have the same hair texture, and said, actually, there's other groups that don't have hair texture like this. And so what is your point? Are they not African? Does it defeat your point? Like what this is the thing, when you talk to guys like this or listen to their content, this is how he does. He gish gallops once again. He just literally just throws in everything that he can. Like, what are you talking about? What is your actual point that you're trying to land on here? What is your point you're trying to land on here? Because you show women with their hair and its natural texture, and you still accuse them of wearing wigs. So what I think his point is that basically all nations in Africa where wavy hair or looser hair is not dominant. All the women should cut their hair bald. That's basically what he's saying. This guy has got no idea about women. He has no idea about black people. He has no idea about diversity. And clearly you saw he made the error of showing his pictures. He has got no fashion sense, got no sense of pride, no sense of vanity, none of these things. I'm a vain person. Yeah. I look good every time I leave my house. You can't talk about these subjects unless you have that kind of pride in yourself. He doesn't have it. He's going on camera looking homeless. So why does he think he can tell people about what they should do with their hair? Hair doesn't matter to you.
Beauty standards. I mean, even Koreans, Japanese, Chinese, Indians, Filipinos, and many other Asians would whiten their skin. Sometimes they appear so scarily pale that I don't even see the point.
So what is the point of what you're saying? He's basically now contradicting himself and just saying everybody changes their appearance based on local tastes, which is what is the point of what you're saying? Also notice that he never mentioned this in his Why Are Black People So Ugly video when he focused on East Asians. He never focused on the fact that they all have a Europeanized, you know, make their skin pale. Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say it's completely false that as black people who have been subjected to the propaganda that is white beauty standards in mainstream media, I'm not going to say that we don't get a little bit influenced by that from time to time, and maybe, you know, in the pursuit of being accepted by the greater society, adopting some of the beauty standards that we see on television. But all you have to do is take a look around. Black people don't dress like white people. We don't talk like white people. We don't sound like white people. We don't move like white people. We don't listen to white music. We don't cook like white people. So why is it only the hair that why is it only the hair and the skin complexion that we fixate on? It would it not be so much easier to
shout out to this point? Young Dong cooked so much on this point. Shout out to Young Dong because he cooked so much on this point. I don't want anyone to miss what he's saying here. They make this big fixation, and this kind of marries to the last video I just posted. So if you haven't watched that, please watch that after you watch this, or at some point, just put it in your playlist, okay? They fixate on the fact that some black women, okay, wear wigs that some might say imitate European hair, okay? They fixate on that one point. And they make out like this is the biggest deal in the world. Oh, you hate yourself so much, you black women, this, that, and the other. Let's just ignore the fact, and I talked about this in my last video, that the entire modern female aesthetic is based on black women right now. Women are getting collagen injected to their lips or doing some kind of temporary or permanent thing to make their lips thicker. In totality, they normally plump up the top lip. A plump top lip is unique, almost unique to black people, okay? Plump top lips is a black person thing. So when they're making their lips plumper, they're making their lips more like black women. Imagine if black women were doing lip reductions to like thin out their top lip to look like white women. Imagine what people will be saying. Let's go on. They're doing cheek fillers, yeah, to increase their zygomatic, yeah, to make their cheeks look fuller. That once again is a black woman aesthetic. Once again, imagine if black women were getting cheek reductions in an effort to make their cheeks look like white women. Imagine what would be said. Okay, they're going to the gym and they are literally doing nothing more than butt and thigh exercises. The natural aesthetic for white and Asian people is to have, let's be honest, relatively flat behinds. Okay, that's the natural aesthetic that they're born with. Okay, the natural aesthetic that they're born with is to have a relatively flat behind and thin thighs. Okay, the black female, natural black female aesthetic is to have a pert, stand out posterior and to have strong thighs. That's a natural black female aesthetic. Okay, that's where that comes from. So they're going to the gym and they are literally trying to sculpt and form their body to look like black women's, including the upper body. Women are doing work to build up musculature, build some breadth to their shoulders. Once again, this is a black female aesthetic. Like I said before, if all women were to stop going to the gym, whose bodies would most naturally replicate the gym body aesthetic? We all know that will be black women. And that's why before women started going to the gym, kind of like they do now, because that's a very recent phenomenon, by the way, before women really started going to the gym like that, only black women were known for having back off, okay? Butts, whatever you want to call it. Only black women were known for that because they're the only ones who had it naturally. And then I've already spoke about tanning today. So you got non-black people doing a plethora of things to imitate the black aesthetic. And the only thing that black women are doing is occasionally putting a wig on their head and everyone has a freaking meltdown. Oh my God. Oh, look at your hair. Oh, you hate yourself. Oh my God. Oh, you want to be asked so much. Women are saying this with their big freaking turkey lips and their their BBLs and their freaking cheek injections and their freaking collagen, this, that, and the other, and their, you know, their gym butts and their gym thighs and their spray tan. Oh, look at you! You want to be me so bad? Oh my gosh! Look at your hair. What the hell's going on? Like, it's like the ultimate gaslight. You've taken everything from the black female aesthetic and made it like something that everybody needs to get. Yeah, and then black females can't even put a wig on their friggin' head without you guys having a meltdown. That seems to me like a double standard.
Adopt white beauty standards or white, try to be white people. Wouldn't it an easier step be, altering these things, like the way that you speak and the way that you dress and the kind of music you listen to and the kind of culture you engage in? Why is it only the skin and the hair that we see this phenomenon with? It's because these characteristics have an objective impact on our ability to provide for ourselves and to be successful in this world. That's why black people have no interest in looking more like white people. Black people have no interest in becoming white people. It's just that you could make that accusation to be a little more fair to the argument. I guess you could apply that, with the skin bleaching. When it comes to the skin bleaching, I would say, okay, yeah, they're trying to be lighter, but it's not even necessarily that they're trying to be white. Right. I would say that black people are tapping into actually trying to navigate colorism more so than it is them trying to be white.
Absolutely. And this is absolutely correct as well. You spot on there. Because I even remember when I was young, I never like being white. I'd be like, what the hell? I want to be like, not in an offensive way, by the way. If anyone's white who's listening, got no problem with white people. I've never wanted to be. I've never had any interest. Like, my culture is just too lit. Okay, grow up black. It's just my culture is too lit. My people are too lit. Everything we do is lit. Everyone wants to be us. Why we want to be anyone else? But I will confess now, when I was young, I did have an issue growing up with my dark skin. I had a little bit of an issue. Okay, occasionally, you know what I mean. It used to be a bit of a blocker for me. Girls like light skinned boys. Like, and this is what I was saying to you before about things moving in waves. Because now, like, dark skinned men are definitely more in fashion, thanks to brother Idris and other guys who've made us made us a hit once again. Shout out Tyrese, etc. But growing up, everyone wanted a light skinned boy. You know what I mean? So I had to work a little bit harder. You know, it wasn't like a big deal, but I work a bit. I used to think, oh, if I was a little bit light, if I was light skin, none of that equated to me wanting to be white or not wanting to be black. That was just me wanting to navigate my world, my black community a bit easier. That's just me being totally honest. Obviously now I know like dark skin's a little, like I'm not gonna lie, like but I had to grow into that. You know, I had to grow into being comfortable with my darkness and actually seeing it as a benefit. I had to learn that. But once again, that is entirely separate to wanting to be white. Being white was never on the cards. That would have been like a nightmare waking up white, and not being that. And I don't mean in a horrible way. But when you grow up black, you just like being black is lit. It just is like why you don't want to be anything else. There's no other culture, no other community that you're looking at thinking, oh, I wish I was a part of that community. Now I know that can't be said vice versa, because I know a lot of people wish they grew up black. It's weird. As poor and as broken as things as our communities are, everybody wants to be like us. Like Tupac said, everyone wants to be the have-nots. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, like, it's got like a lot of what we do, we give racism and we give them too much credence and power. Like I said, even with this black female hair thing, black women aren't copying white women. They're copying the lit black celebrities. That's who they're copying. That's all there is to it, you know.
We understand that black people who have a lighter skin complexion are perceived as more trustworthy, more intelligent, more attractive. And so I think that is, and of course that is also a result of white supremacy and, you know, the one drop rule, passing for white, all of that shit I mentioned earlier plays into this. It's the cause of all of this, right? So even there, I wouldn't say that we're trying to be white. Otherwise, I mean, in the 2026, you would see black women. Why don't black women? Why isn't there this epidemic of black women going and getting nose jobs to get a white woman's nose, right? Lip reductions, right? Hip reductions, breast reductions. Why don't we see that if it is the case?
Shout out. And he didn't need to go that other way. I'm a bit more gung-ho, so I mentioned the fact that it does go the other way around, where people are basically getting surgery and going to gyms and sculpting and doing everything to copy the black female aesthetic. But he's pointing out that black women aren't doing all of the extra stuff. Yeah, just put on a friggin' wig, like calm yourself down. It's not that deep, man.
Is that they're simply trying to look like white women. No, it's literally because white people have complained about black women's hair. It's because dark-skinned people have to live their whole lives seeing themselves being passed up on by lighter-skinned people for no other apparent reason than the fact that they're of a lighter complexion. That's why.
Like the Asians, many black Africans struggle with an inferiority complex.
Oh, so now the Asians have an inferiority complex. Funny, he missed out on his entire video about why East Asians don't. I never heard him once define it as inferiority complex. He said, oh, because the white people have brought them wealth. Oh, it's because black people are dirty. It's because black people are not Confucian. They're not following the Confucian values. They are whores. They are this, they are that. He said all of that shit. Didn't say once that they are suffering from, you know, any kind of self-hate or any kind of like reflection issues. And now he probably watched my video, in fairness to him. He probably watched my video and got schooled up a bit. I think a lot of what he does in this video is a response to the video that I put out, especially his stupid thing at the end of this video, by the way, which we might not have time to come on to. But basically at the end of the video, he's all gushing, oh, black women, I just want you to know I love you. You're so wonderful. You are the most beautiful. He's just doing that because he knows I'm going to tear him to shreds. That's why he's doing that. So he's trying to cover his bases now. He wants to make the money, but he doesn't want black people to hate him. Like I said, bro, you can't serve two masters. Black people are gonna hate you until you start or till you stop being a coon. That's all there is to it, man.
Prompts them to whiten their skin.
No, we struggle with a white supremacy problem, not an inferiority complex. Some, sure, it's there in some, but that is not the root of the problem, sir.
Reasons that I find difficult to comprehend. However, when it comes to hair, there is a notable trend. Around 90% of Black women, regardless of their location, do not appear.
See, did you see him skipping through photos again of women with natural hair? Did you see that? Did you see that? Like he's like, and he can't be honest.
90
like seconds.
However, when it comes to hair, there is a notable trend. Around 90.
How do you skip in small steps? Because 10 seconds is a bit big. Does anyone know how to skip in small steps? That's a 5-second step. I want like 1 second step so I can show. Oh, there you go. Look. Why was this? Can you see what I'm saying about this guy? He's talking about 90% of Black women do not appear in public with their natural hair. And then he skipped through loads of images. And he had many images that look like this, which are clearly Black women with their natural hair. Can you see how this guy is just a lying piece of shit? Did he pull up this image and not realize? Or did he just say, what I'll do, I'll just flash it on the screen so quick, no one's even going to notice? He's just a liar. 90% of women, he says, don't appear in public with their natural hair, but he hasn't even been able to show 30% of his images proving that point. Honestly, this guy is the worst, man. And he makes up these statistics. I've already embarrassed this clown about that. That's his Bantu page statistics that he just makes up and then decides that he's going to say it like it's gospel, and all of his low IQ, slow Neanderthal troglodytes in his comments be like, oh mate, I've always thought that, I've always thought what you said in there. I've always thought that. Why do they want to be like us so much? Oh, they love us. They love our culture. We invented hip hop. We invented everything. We invented all the things that they love. They dress like us. They do everything like us. They do. Friggin' moron and his moron followers. Shout out Drego. He said, snap, he's got to piss off the Koreans. Yeah. So that's the thing. They're going to pick up on this. He's got to try and serve 2 masters, and he's going to end up losing everything. But cool. I'm angling for that.
In public with their natural hair. This indicates a profound level.
Did you see how many pictures? I'm sorry, I know the frame rate's moving slow, but did you guys see there was like 3 or 4 pictures in that little slideshow where the women clearly had natural hair? He's horrible, man.
Of insecurity. However,
no, Black women are accused. See, here's the thing: when a Black woman wears her natural hair, and let's say she just wants to run to the grocery store, right? Run to the gas station. Well, if she just walks out the house with her hair, not having taken the time to groom it, she's perceived as being unkept, untidy.
Now, I'm going to pause it there because it's 2 minutes 20 in, and there's no way this deserves to be a 3-hour stream. But I did want to give Young Don Reacts some props on his takedown of BCD. We're not going to call him Bantu anymore, like RJ said. Boo Boo, we call him Boo Boo. Boo Boo City Diaries, yeah. So I think we'll leave this topic for now. 2 minutes 20 in, it's too long already. But I just wanted to kind of like react to it and show you what this idiot, he just, I mean, our sisters just come and said his obsession with hair needs to be studied. It's not his obsession with hair, my sisters. It's his obsession with Black people. He has a really, really toxic relationship with his skin. He doesn't like himself. He doesn't like anyone who looks like him. He doesn't like his own culture. And he's frankly an embarrassment. I feel sorry for anyone who knows him, basically. He's just an embarrassing human being. But there you go. That's Boo Boo City Diaries. We're done with him. Yeah, I'm not going to do any more. I think we've made enough rebuttals in that video. Making a rebuttal video to this one is going to be a lot of fun because it'll go on forever, the amount. I'm not saying that, Khalid. Well, yeah. Joy said, "Go and relax." Yeah, it's true. I shouldn't let him stress me out. Definitely not. But yeah, we are definitely done with that one now. Shout out to those of you who've been in the chat, keeping it popping. I appreciate you all. Shout out Khalid, Joy, Texas, RJ, Mackenzie, Microwave, Dregger for your donations. Also, actually, let me give a big shout out to Dregger, Kalugu once again for your donation. London for your donation, much appreciated. And Dregger, again, I appreciate you guys a lot, and I appreciate everyone who's been in the chat. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'm gonna go X-Men. Why did you say that? What's the joke there, RJ? That went over my head. Why am I gonna go? Oh, go watch it. You know, X-Men actually is my. I preferred X-Men to the Avengers back in the day. Days of Future Past, bad boy movie. But anyway, that's an aside. Have a good one, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.